Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hello and welcome once again to another Cheap Shot Entertainment review of a wrestling show. It's been few and far between recently with the COVID-19 pandemic, but we get a dollop of old school here with WWE, with TakeOver being cancelled at WrestleMania weekend. We get TakeOver in your house, the first time for a good 25 years. The first. This is awesome! It's the first time since In Your House in 1999. That was the Valentine's Day Massacre in 1999, which featured Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon in a steel cage match. May have to go back and watch that, but yeah, it's a massive dollop of old school this. On the 8th of June 2020, which I didn't watch live this time because of volunteering on the Monday morning, which is really important to me and really important to my local community as well. So it was important that I had all my wits about me for that. It's at Full Sail University, the spiritual home of NXT, and that is in Florida. And that gave good rise to the Backlot Brawl because it is a media college. So yeah, you've got to see a lot of stuff that they probably would use during filmmaking and things like that during the pre-main event, which it wasn't the main event, that was the NXT title match. Todd Pettingill is your host for the evening. Add an extra dollop of nostalgia there. Incidentally, he did like my post on Insta, so thanks, Todd. Got to say, I did mark out just a little bit. Agent Orange performs the NXT Loud theme song known as Underneath. It's very shouty, very Agent Orange, not my cup of tea, but there you go. I'm sure some people liked it, and it did look pretty cool. There was just the guy going like this all the way through it, which kind of put me off, but there you go. Like I say, it's first in your house since February 1999, and we go straight into the action with Mauro Ranallo and Beth Phoenix on commentary. Go straight into it, into 6-woman tag match action, and it is Team Face, which is Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Knox and Mia Yim versus Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae. I've got to say, it was a decent opening match, probably one of the weakest ones on the card, but you've got to open somewhere, and with this many people in the ring all at once, it's difficult to get those licks in, tell the stories, that kind of thing. They did it really, really well, and it shows everything that NXT is about here. Gonzalez and Yim start. Obviously, Dakota Kai and Ray don't want any part of Mia Yim. They've had their things in the past. Gonzalez absolutely dominates, shows why she is the powerhouse of this team and the powerhouse of the NXT women's division. And she has only just gotten into the ring when LeRae completes a set of dives, and they all perform dives outside of the ring. So it goes into the high spots really, really quickly in this one. Blackheart and LeRae get back in the ring, and a submission attempt from Shotzi Blackheart is broken up by Dakota Kai. As the referee is distracted, Gonzalez comes in and breaks up the submission attempt with a clothesline. Yim does finally get her hands on Candice LeRae for all the things that have been built up between them. I feel like this needed a singles match, and I'm guessing that's where it's going to go to as we go down this match as well. Soul Food misses and Knox is in, and Gonzalez takes her down very quickly with a dominating powerbomb. Yim and LeRae fight to the back at this point, furthering their feud in the NXT landscape. Knox hits a choke slam after Dakota Kai misses a face wash kick and hits Gonzalez. Dakota Kai hits a choke slam and gets the win, basically. So that is a kick and a sliced bread from Shotzi Blackheart to Gonzalez, an assisted one, obviously. The Shiniest Wizard finishes Dakota Kai off from Tegan Knox, and she gets a measure of revenge over her former friend with a win and a pin. So she's very happy, and the team face win this one. Decent little opening match. Like I say, probably one of the weakest on the card, but you've got to start somewhere, and the women of NXT are just fantastic. They can put on a fantastic match no matter who's coming in, who's going out, whatever. They always put on good matches. I really enjoyed this one, and a great way to open the show. So, like I say, really strong opening. It does plant the seeds for Gonzalez and Kai to have a bit of a feud, but they're not doing that yet. I was waiting for that. Gonzalez does go and pick up Dakota Kai after the match as Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart are celebrating in the ring. So we've got now Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. So we've got two heels here. So usually heel versus heel does work really well, because obviously neither of them care for the other person. They're not there to make friends. They're just there to beat people up. And this match, I've watched some other reviews on YouTube, and they seem to think this match wasn't great. I mean, it was good, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it told a really good story, and it built Damian Priest up really, really strongly here, because he dominates for a lot of it. Also shows that mean streak of Finn Balor, which we've been wanting for a long time. He's gone back to the Prince gimmick. He's Prince Devitt, but obviously he's still Finn Balor. So he gets that aggression in. I mean, he starts off really quickly with a drop kick in the corner, takes Damian Priest off his game straight away, beats him up on the outside, on the inside. It doesn't matter. Finn Balor is there, and he's not showing any remorse for anything that he does in this match, and I really like that side of Finn Balor. Never really got on with him in the main roster. Liked him in his first run in NXT, and I absolutely love Finn Balor now. Now he's got that aggression in him. Priest tries to drop Balor on the apron and succeeds. The stairs come into play there as well. Priest hits a broken arrow after reversing a sort of slop drop, sort of sling blade type thing that Finn Balor does. Priest showboating now, and Balor hits the double stomp to Priest with, because he's showboating. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to beat you up, and then Balor just uses all of his cunning and experience and just hits a double foot stomp to the stomach of Damian Priest, and that gets Balor back in the match. Hits him with a Pele kick after hitting and completing a lot of strikes on Damian Priest. Priest calls the dive from Balor and gets the upper hand, followed by the Razor's Edge on the apron, which does hit. So Balor tries to jump outside. Priest sees this, he jumps back up on the apron, showing his agility for a big man. Really, really impressive. Manages to get the upper hand and then hit the Razor's Edge on the apron. Back and forth, gives the Prince an edge. Balor goes to the top, but Priest hits a top rope falling chokeslam and gets the near fall. Like I say, it's really building up Damian Priest here. Wasn't really interested in him until this match. Obviously Finn Balor knows how to put over younger wrestlers, upcoming wrestlers. He's really, really good at that. And from the apron, Balor wriggles out of another Razor's Edge attempt and kicks Priest onto the steps, beats the count. Damian Priest beats the count, but Finn Balor is waiting for him on the top rope, hits the coup de grace, goes back up again, hits it twice, and that is your spends too long showboating, does Priest, to get a win in this one, but Balor picks up the victory after those 2 coup de grace. And I really like this match. I thought it was a sleeper hit. I really enjoyed the story that they told. It didn't have much build up, so that's probably why I really liked it. Finn Balor needs to be in the main event. Priest looked really good in losing, but he's going to have to start winning at some point, because he's not had a good run in NXT. He's had big matches, but he's not really come good in those matches, apart from looking good. So he's going to have to, someone's going to have to pull the trigger on him at some point to make him relevant. But excellent match, really good from start to finish. I disagree with a lot of the internet people on this one. I really like this match, and I'm sticking to it. Tell me what you think. Get on the social media. Should be a banner somewhere in the video, and you can click on the links and things in the description. The North American Championship match next is the one I'm most looking forward to. These 2 guys are absolutely fantastic. Johnny Gargano bleeds NXT, and his new found aggression and badassery, so to speak, is really working well for him here. The promos that he's cut, the angles that he's had with Keith Lee, and Keith Lee, for a big man, is just so agile. It's unbelievable, just so strong, and just really knows what he's doing inside that ring, and he proved that at the Royal Rumble as well. So Keith Lee, the current North American champion, and Johnny Gargano, a former North American champion, not United States Championship, because that's completely different, even though it's the same thing. Although I suppose North America does include Canada as well. But anyway, so Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano. After an early exchange, Keith Lee gets the upper hand, showing that the strength edge he has is over the speed edge that Gargano has. But obviously Keith Lee is very much a speedy big man as well, so that kind of plays into his grasp. But the eye does come into play here, with Johnny Gargano sticking a key into Keith Lee's face, into his eye on NXT and the Go Home show. You can see that he's focusing on that. Johnny Gargano focuses on that. He's also got an injured hand as Keith Lee. So Gargano's got 2 modes of taking down the big man here, and he uses them completely to his advantage. Incidentally, Johnny Gargano does come out of the door when he makes his entrance, which is really cool. I love that spot. Really awesome. I love it. And he takes the key and puts it down his trunks. What's going to happen there? Maybe, I don't know, maybe he's going to try and get back in the house later. Keith Lee is well in control. Gargano targets the injured eye early on, and at this point the strength is defeating Gargano. Gargano trying to get back in the house. He's trying to run. He says he's done. He's trying to run, tries to get back in the house. Johnny, it's not the APA's door, mate. You can go round. It's just a set. So he's trying to get in the door. He's knocking on the door, so someone let me in. And we get a security camera shot here of Keith Lee just beating up Johnny Gargano. And I really like that spot as well. Gargano being very slippery here in this one, and attacking the injured hand of Keith Lee, which was injured a couple of weeks prior. Gargano showing all of his in-ring cunning here in this match, and knowledge, newfound aggression against the bigger champion. Cobra clutch to Lee from Gargano. So he's trying to get the big man up in a Cobra clutch, and well placed finger to the eye. So as he's got his eye here. And it just adds to the story. It just adds to the as you're going through it, it adds to the story and the action inside the ring. Keith Lee comes back after swatting Gargano away after attempting a slingshot spear. There we go, got it. Armbar from Gargano, but Keith Lee is just way too strong. Gargano then starts manipulating the fingers and the injured hand, you know, and just that brings him back down. It brings him back up. One-armed spine buster to Gargano, and he hits one giant lariat to get back in this match. Takes out the Black Heart of NXT. Like I said, one-armed spine buster, very, very good. Gargano is absolutely in control of Lee. Lee hits one high impact move followed by another. Gargano rolls out of the ring before Lee can get the pin. Every time Lee gets some momentum, Gargano then comes back and it's broken. The tope DDT to the outside, the ref count is broken as Gargano can't move the dead weight of Keith Lee, and more pounds to the ounce, as Mauro Ranallo would say, as Gargano's coming back out of the ring to take care of Lee. As he gets up, Lee catches Gargano and pounces him straight through the plexiglass of the outside of the ring. So the NXT setup at the moment is you've got people by ringside now, so it's creating some crowd noise, but they've actually got plexiglass up, so none of the well, I don't know, so it's a bit safer, I suppose, than it would be. So more pounds to the ounce as Keith Lee sends Gargano through the plexiglass, and one final beat after a key to the eye, and Gargano can't put Keith Lee away. Candice LeRae is very much involved at that point. Mia Yim comes out, they get in the ring, they beat each other down. Spirit Bomb and a big catastrophe, big bang catastrophe for the win for Keith Lee. He retains the North American Championship after 4 separate kicks to the head from Johnny Gargano, and all 4 of them he kicked out of. Gargano was just no how at this point. And, you know, this one, possibly with the exception of the main event, which was exceptional, definitely the best match on the card. I mean, you'd expect it, really. And just really, really good. 2 guys, really good. Don't know where Gargano goes from here, because there's a big picture for the main title at the moment, but with Dream out of the picture, which I've just given you the ending for that one, Dream out of the picture, he needs some more challenges, and 2 new challenges here. Well, certainly Gargano could. He can get the title back, but yeah, really, really, really good match. Excellent. Really enjoyed this one, especially the pounce. I really love the pounce. Should be a video coming up now. Let's watch it together. Really good. So, in an interesting move of booking, we get the NXT Championship match next. It is the Backlot Brawl, very much produced, this one, and out of all the highly produced matches that we've seen in the last couple of months between AEW and WWE, I think this one's probably the weakest. It was quite dark, but I mean, it's a backlot, it's at night. What are you going to do? Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream, and if Velveteen Dream does not pick up the championship, he cannot go for another title match until Adam Cole drops that title. So he is no longer in contention for the championship, basically. Cole arrives on a big monster truck with the Undisputed Era logo plastered all over it. Really, really cool. And Dream arrives in a Lamborghini Gallardo, and yeah, looking like Negan, carrying a baseball bat with, not wrapped in barbed wire, because, that's a gimmick for someone else, but carrying a baseball bat, looking like Negan. Really, really cool entrance there. But like I say, the rules are explained that the match must end inside the ring, inside the squared circle ropes. So as long as Cole is champion, like I said, Dream will not get another title shot. Get quick roll-ups to start with in this match. Get 3 of those from the Dream, trying to win the title very quickly. The match breaks down. Cole tries to run, locks himself in a car. Dream beats up the car with the baseball bat, but interestingly he doesn't go for the windows. He comes out, tries to blindside Velveteen Dream, although I don't know why he couldn't see Cole getting out of the car, because he's looking through the window, but maybe it's blackout windows, I don't know. And in a mark of complete WWE craziness, an Uber turns up. Did someone call an Uber? And they battle through the Uber car, and the Uber driver drives away. Quite a funny moment, probably not needed, but there you go. Cole uses a fire extinguisher. He runs off into one of the buildings, and clearly this is a set at this point. And he runs off into one of the buildings, gets a fire extinguisher, and extinguishes the Dream, so to speak. Dream tries a double axe handle off the top rope, and as he gets the upper hand again, and is met with a super kick. Dream gives Cole a super kick of his own. Cole on the bonnet of a car. Dream gets the ladder, goes for the purple Rainmaker elbow, and is cut off by the Undisputed Era. They come out, and you knew they were going to come at some point. They pip the horn and then come and beat the Dream up. But Cole is sent into the window as Adam Cole climbs up to meet the Velveteen Dream, and he goes, "Adam Cole, baby." He's pushed into the window of the car, very much beaten up and battered, cut on his arm there from Adam Cole and the fall. The Era attack the Dream again, load the ring with chairs, which are contained in the back of the monster truck. Dexter Lumis shows himself. He comes out from under the ring and attacks the Era and loads them into the car and drives off. Maybe a precursor to the picture that he drew on the Go Home show of NXT. And we'll see what happens there. Dexter Lumis, just a madman, really cool as well, got a great character. Cole on top tries the Panama Sunrise, but that is reversed into the Dream Valley Driver. Dream hits the purple Rainmaker, but Cole kicks out of the near fall, out of the pin. Smack talk to Cole from the Dream. This gives Adam Cole a chance to hit a low blow on the Dream and leads to the Panama Sunrise on the chairs, and Adam Cole retains. The Dream can no longer go for the title as long as Adam Cole is champion. So it does make me wonder what they're going to do with the Velveteen Dream at this point. I was kind of hoping it's going to get a star taken off, because I was kind of hoping to see a barbershop window in the with all the nostalgia going off. I was hoping to see a barbershop window and perhaps Adam Cole going through it, but that's me. It's very well documented that Shawn Michaels works with NXT quite heavily. Really well produced match. Just wish there was a bit more lights and there was lots of quick cuts. Tried to do it more like they were filming a match rather than it being produced. And there was commentary on this one. So the first I saw, the shots and things like that, and I thought, okay, this has been pre-filmed like Money in the Bank, like the Firefly Funhouse and the Boneyard match, but I honestly couldn't tell whether it was or not. Like I say, there was commentary, so whether they did produce it, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'll have to look into that. But definitely the weakest produced of the matches that we've seen. But it was decent. It told a story and it finished a feud, and that's what you want it to be. And for an NXT title match, I think it was one of the weaker on the card, especially with the main event that we've got coming up. So, and I'm loving how old school this pay-per-view is. Top Pettingale, you can get an Ico Pro advert and the ice cream bars. It's just brilliant. So Tommaso Ciampa, very much a grudge match this. Tommaso Ciampa was attacked a couple of weeks ago, straight after his NXT TakeOver match with... Well, it wasn't a TakeOver match, was it? It was on an NXT show with Johnny Gargano, which finished their feud. He was attacked by an unknown attacker. It turned out to be Karrion Kross with Scarlett. And, yeah, Scarlett, wow. You know, she's pouring her heart out in this one. So we finally get the blow-off for this, and it's Tommaso Ciampa versus Karrion Kross. I fully expected Karrion Kross to win. I didn't expect Karrion Kross to win in a squash match. Kross dominates Ciampa. He whitewashes Ciampa. Ciampa gets a couple of licks in here and there, but Karrion Kross, wow, if you're going to build someone up, do it by taking out one of the veterans. You know, countered, tries to get the upper hand, does Tommaso Ciampa. He's very well versed in doing so, but he can just not get any momentum in this match at all. Karrion Kross eventually locks in the cross jacket rather than the straight jacket, which is like that. It's a cross jacket. And the match is stopped as Ciampa passes out. He doesn't tap out, he passes out, so I wonder if that's where they're going to play with for that one. But yeah, it's Karrion Kross gets the win in a squash match against a veteran. You know, they haven't done that since Brock Lesnar, so they obviously see big things in the NXT for Karrion Kross. But I really enjoyed that match. It wasn't much of a match, but it was a nice little, you know, you've got the highly produced match, you've got the high adrenaline match, and then you've got this little match, and that goes into another high adrenaline match. So yeah, it was good for what it was. In terms of wrestling match, it wasn't really great, but it told what it needed. It did what it needed to do, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it made my jaw drop about how dominant Karrion Kross was, and that's sometimes what you need in wrestling. You need something to make your jaw drop and suspend disbelief, and this one did that very, very well. So, women's triple threat championship match now for the NXT Women's Championship. It is Charlotte, the current NXT Women's Champion, versus Rhea Ripley, the former Women's Champion, the lady that Charlotte beat at WrestleMania. And Io Shirai had 4 title matches so far, come up short with all of them, but you know, she's getting a big push this time. You know, 2 former champions, she's got to beat both of them, so is she going to do it? So, some statistics that they rolled off from this match. Charlotte Flair, since being in the WWE, has had 66 championship matches. It's no wonder that people feel like she's being forced down their throats, really. Rhea Ripley has had 8 championship matches. Of course, that includes the NXT UK brand as well. And Io Shirai has 4 championship matches under her belt. Obviously losing quite a few of them. In fact, all of them to this point, shall we say. But Io Shirai is so over, they'd be daft not to put the title on her. Charlotte rolls out of the ring to start with. The bell rings, Charlotte rolls out of the ring and invites her 2 opponents quite fiendishly to beat each other up first. And then she realises that once they start doing that and there's a quick pin, that she could lose her championship not being involved in the fall. So Charlotte in control early on after she lets them fight a little bit and then jumps them later. And Charlotte in control, like I said, cleaning house, throws Rhea Ripley into a barricade after missing a cannonball sent on off the apron. Throws Shirai into Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is pretty much out at this point. Ripley back in after Charlotte hits the Lion Tamer. So she gets the full-on Lion Tamer there with Io Shirai locked into it. Ripley taken out again after a small flurry from Charlotte Flair. She is really bringing it this time. It's the best I've seen Charlotte Flair. It's the most interesting I've seen her, and that's because it's NXT. For me, anyway, because you've got two very capable opponents for her. Charlotte hits a double spear on her two opponents. Charlotte then sets up their opponents for a double moonsault. They both miss it. They both move out of the way, and Charlotte misses. Riptide is reversed. Riptide reverse from Io Shirai's move, and Charlotte hits a. Shirai hits a missile drop kick on Ripley. Bullet train from Io Shirai, followed by Charlotte hitting natural selection straight away. She goes for the figure eight, but is broken up by Rhea Ripley from the outside. They start beating each other up. They go towards the entrance ramp. Io Shirai hits a suicide dive from the top of the... Io Shirai hits a suicide dive. They battle towards the back, all three of them. Charlotte sends Shirai through the window of the set of the house, and Ripley throws a plant pot at Charlotte. I think that might have pissed her off a little bit, because her face drops and starts throwing punches and stuff. They brawl. Io climbs on the roof, as we can't see now. They're following the camera, following the other two ladies. Io Shirai climbs up on the roof and hits a splash onto the other two. Charlotte looks like she's hurt her nose, or noses. I don't know how many nose jobs she's had. The moonsault. Io hits a splash. Io wants to beat the champ, so she sends Charlotte back into the ring, tries the moonsault. Charlotte, she gets knocked off by Rhea Ripley. She's back in play at this point. Charlotte misses a spear, sends her face straight into the second turnbuckle. Io tries a Frankensteiner from the top. Charlotte hits a big boot on Io Shirai. Straight to the ribs. Io Shirai is out. Ripley hits a riptide on Charlotte from the second rope, the very move that she beat Shayna Baszler with to win the championship. And the Prism Trap then is locked in to Io Shirai. Taking a lot of submission moves is Io Shirai in this one. Charlotte finds a kendo stick and attacks both of their opponents. Obviously that is legal, triple threat rules. Locks in a figure eight on Ripley. Io Shirai climbs to the top, hits a moonsault. She pins Rhea Ripley as Charlotte is trying to unlock the figure eight, and we get a new champion. Io Shirai is the champion, and in traditional Japanese style, lots of streamers and things like that, and pretty much the same as they did for Finn Balor and for Kairi Sane and for Asuka as well. So yeah, domination from the Japanese women on most counts in the USA for championships. Pins Rhea to win her first NXT championship. Really good match. I really enjoyed this match. There was a few spots that, obviously Charlotte's used to working ever so slightly differently on the main card these days, but all the three women showed loads of aggression, showed a lot of hatred, told a story, and the bit where the battle to the entranceway I thought was really cool as well. Fantastic pay-per-view overall, really good. And I will say this: if Edge versus Orton is the greatest wrestling match of all time, then they're going to have a lot to live up to based on the AEW All or Nothing and the NXT In Your House TakeOver pay-per-view. And that is obviously next Sunday. That is at Backlash. So we'll see what Edge and Randy Orton can do to make us believe that that is the greatest wrestling match in history. Anyway, that is your pay-per-view. That is NXT In Your House on the 8th of June 2020. This has been Cheap Shot Entertainment. I have been your host, Luke. Don't forget to join us on all the social medias, and you know what to do now. By now, people, we're on YouTube. Show us some love. Let us know what you thought of the pay-per-view. I thought it was really cool. Like I say, I got a share from Todd Pettingill which was really cool. You know, I still remember him interviewing the Japanese fans about Yokozuna at WrestleMania 9. Probably not one of his better moments, but there you go. Yeah, really enjoyed this one. Really, really good. So if you watched it, let us know what you think of the pay-per-view. What was your favourite match? What was your, what did you really, really think? Did you think it was comparable to AEW? I thought it really was. From start to finish, I thought this was a much better pay-per-view than the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, with the exception of the Stadium Stampede match, which was just awesome. Anyway, I'm going to leave you there. I'm going out for a walk now. I'm going to go and take Tilly for a walk and go and enjoy, well, it's not sun shining, but I'm going to go and enjoy the great outdoors. So I will see you next time. Stay safe, take care, and goodbye.